She's locked in as owner, but
Hello.
Oh, hi
Hi,
there.
everybody. I'm Caroline. Thank you so much for joining.
okay.
I asked that you all mute your microphones.
You
I'm
made
sure you've
it.
been having some fun conversations till I got here, but if everyone can just mute their microphones, that way you'll only hear and see me going forward. And then just keep your microphones muted as we go forward. And then if I call on you at some point for answering a question, I will unmute you myself. Okay, for anyone joining, just please make sure your microphones are muted. And to make sure I'm the only one on your screen, go to the top right corner and click on view and then click on speaker. And I'll be the only one on your screen, so I'm nice and big. So when you guys take notes, I'm the only one you're seeing. All right. First of all, I just want to thank you all for coming. It's so exciting to see your actual faces. I'm so used to just seeing numbers on my screen, and I know so many of you follow along and enjoy watching my life through a screen. So it's just very cool to feel like we're having a real life interaction right now. So, um, yeah, today we're going to get into my lesson one of my beginner's Italian crash course. So this is a preview of my first lesson. It's a 5-week course. We have 10 lessons total, and this is the entire first lesson. And I'm doing this as a way to give you guys a free Italian lesson, but also as a preview of what to expect in my course. So this format is exactly what my lessons will be like in my 5-week course. The lessons will be 45 minutes, and we're going to start from the ground and build your foundation up. The very first thing we can dive into is going to be our alphabet. Now, I'm going to have you guys take notes on my notes. So whatever is on my board, you guys can write down. But I will be recording this lesson. So if you miss any notes, just email me and I can send you the recording of the lesson. Or if you want to watch the lesson back and just have it on hand, I'm happy to share the recording with you. So don't worry about catching every single part of the notes, but I'll try to go at a pretty good pace for everyone. Let's start with the alphabet. Alphabet in Italian is l'alfabeto. So this is the very first thing we need to learn when getting into Italian language. So here I've written out the phonetic pronunciation of each letter. Starting with A is A. So we say A for the letter A in Italian. So these are used for spelling purposes. So if you were to spell your name or a word, you would use these pronunciations of each letter. Next, we have B, which is the same. It's just B. Then we have C, which is chi. D is D, the same as English. E is A, which is a little confusing. When we hear A, we think A, but A in Italian is E. Next, we have F, which is F. Now I underlined the E here because that's where we're emphasizing. So we say F, kind of hold on to it a little longer. Next we have G, which is just G, just like English. Then we have H, which is H. So once again, I've underlined the A here because that's what we're emphasizing, H. Next we have I, which is E, which is also a little confusing. When we hear E, we want to we're thinking E like the English E, but it's actually I. So I is E. J is E lunga. So we emphasize the lun, E lunga. K is kappa, kappa. L is L, L. M is M, M. N is N, N. O is O. So our O in English has more of a W sound. The Italian O is more open, O. P is P, same as English. Q is Q, Q. R is R, R. S is S, S. T is T, just like English. U is U, U. V is vu, vu. W is a long one. It's doppia vu. So I underlined the do and the vu because that's where the accent goes. Doppia vu. X is X. Y is Y. Y. And Z is zeta. Zeta. So I'm going to go through them all, say them all one more time, just in the Italian, and we'll continue. So, starting with A. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, I lunga, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Okay, so now we're going to play a little game where I spell a word for you using our Italian letters, and you're going to write what you hear, and then we'll see what word you come up with. So here is our first word. The first letter is B. Second letter, A. Third, R. Next letter, B. Then A, B, E, E, T, O, L, A. So I'm going to read it one more time all together. B, A, R, B, A, B, E, E, T, O, L, A. So now I'm going to write the word on my board and we'll see if your word matches mine. Okay, this is what you should have had down. So B, A, R, B, A, B, E, E, T, O, L, A. You might have messed these two up. That tends to happen when you hear the E and the E. You confuse them. But this word is pronounced barbabietola, and it means beet, like the red vegetable. It's quite a long word for our short English version. So barbabietola. Okay, let's do one more. So first letter of the next word is A. Next letter, L. Next, B. E. Chi. O. Chi. Chi. Aka. E. So one more time, all together. A. L. B. E. Chi. O. Chi. Chi. Aka. E. All right, so now I'm going to write it on my board. We'll see if your word matches mine. Okay, so A, L, B, E, C, O, Chi, Chi, H, E. And this is pronounced albicocche, and it means apricots. Okay, so next, moving on from the alphabet, we're going to get into some pronunciation. So in order to get into the language, we need to know how to say what we see. So in order to do that, there are some rules to follow. So you can title this part of your notes, La Pronuncia, which means the pronunciation. La Pronuncia. So the first thing we're going to talk about are vowels. So how do vowels sound in Italian? So vowels actually sound just like they're pronounced in our alphabet. So when we see the letter A, it's pronounced ah. It's a tall ah. Now, a tendency for English speakers is to say ah, because we're used to apple, like an ah sound. But in Italian, our A is always tall. We're never going to have an ah sound. It's always going to be an ah, a tall ah. So, for example, the word capo. So, capo means boss. And we have that tall ah here. Next, we have our E, which actually is pronounced two different ways. So it can be pronounced like it is in the alphabet, A. For example, porte. So it's pronounced this way when the E is at the end of the word. So it's that AY sound when it's at the very end of our word. But if we have an E in the middle of the word or in the word somewhere else, it's an E. It's more open. So instead of A, it's E. For example, bello. And bello means nice or beautiful. Porte means doors. Next, we have I. So I is also pronounced like it is in the alphabet, E. So this word has an I in it, and it's pronounced cibo. So that I is a long E sound. And cibo means food. Also, I forgot to mention, if you guys have any questions about what I'm explaining, as I go through my notes, just write it down and save it for the end. We will have a Q&A at the very end. So if anything doesn't quite make sense to you, just hold on to it and we'll get to it at the end. Okay, next we have O, which is also O. So, for example, cono. That has two O's in it, so it's that O sound, cono. And cono means cone, like an ice cream cone. And last we have U, which is oo. So, for example, here we have the C-U-B-O, cubo. So that U, it's not cubo, like the English U is more of a U sound. In Italian, it's cubo. It's just that U. And cubo means cube. Okay, I'm going to turn my page. If you missed anything, you can catch it on the recording. So next we're going to talk about a C or a double C. So when you see a C in Italian, how do you pronounce it? It all depends on what's following it. So there are two different sounds the C makes. It's either going to be a ch or a k sound depending on the letters following. So regardless of how many C's you see, it all depends on what's following those. So if you see an I or an E after your C, it's pronounced ch, like cheers in English. For example, baci. So here we have a C followed by an I, so that gives us that ch sound. And baci means kisses in Italian. Now here we have a C followed by an E that also follows that CH rule. So it's pronounced cena. And cena means dinner. And the E is in our word, so it's more of an E sound instead of an A. So cena. Now, if our C is followed by an A, O, or U, it's a hard K sound, like king in English. For example, cane. We have the C followed by an A here, so it's a hard K. Cane means dog. Once again, we have our word cono. So the reason that is a hard K sound is because it's a C-O, C followed by an O, and that means cone, like ice cream cone. And then we have our word cubo again. So we have that C followed by a U, which makes that hard K sound. And cubo means cube. All right, next we're moving on to G. So if you see a G in Italian, how do you say it? Once again, there are two different sounds for our G depending on the vowel following it. So if our G is followed by an I or an E, it's a J sound, like jam in English. For example, this word, gira. So we have that G followed by an I, which makes it a J sound, and gira means turn. Next, if we have a G here followed by our E, it's also that J sound, so gemello. And gemello means twin. Now, if we have an A, O, or U following our G, remember it can be a G or double G. It doesn't matter how many G's you see. Whatever's following it tells us how to pronounce it. So if it's an A, O, or U, it's a hard G, like go in English. For example, galina. So galina has that G followed by an A. So it's a hard G sound. And galina means chicken. We also have another word for chicken, the chicken we eat. Galina is the chicken animal. And then we have gona. We have our G followed by an O, gives us that hard G. And gona means skirt. And last we have gusto. So we have our G followed by a U, which gives us that hard G again. And gusto means flavor, like an ice cream flavor. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving. Don't worry if you didn't catch everything. I can send you the recording. Okay, so next, if we have a CH or a CCH, it's also gonna give us a hard K sound. So it's like the word king in English. For example, chiave. So this is a CH, so just imagine it's a K in your head, and chiave means key. Next, we have the word cocky. So we have a CCH here. So it gives us that hard K sound here. And cocky means coconut. Now with our GH or GGH, it's also going to be a hard G, like go in English. So if there's an H following the C or G, it's hard. So for example, the C has a H following it, which makes it a hard K. G has an H following it, which makes it a hard G. So sometimes that's helpful to remember. When you see the H following it, it's a harder sound. Versus our J and our Ch, which are softer. So hard G example of this is mangi. So we have our GH here. And mangi means mangoes. Now I wrote it two different ways. I want to make sure your A's are staying tall. So when you write out your phonetic pronunciation of the word, whatever will make you say that tall ah sound, I want you to write down. So, well, whether it's the AW or the AH, just as long as you're remembering it's mangi and not mangi. All right. Our next sound we're going to talk about is when we see a singular S sandwiched by vowels. So when you see this, we're actually not going to have any kind of an S sound in our word. It's going to be a Z sound. I call it our American Z sound, like the word zipper, the Z in zipper. So here you can see the word casa. So we have a singular S here, sandwiched by A's, and A's are vowels. Our vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. So there are vowels surrounding this singular S, which makes it a Z sound. So it's not casa, it's casa, casa. Same thing here. We have our O and our A sandwiching our singular S. So that makes this S a Z sound. So it's not cosa, it's cosa. The hard or the Z zipper sound. Cosa, not cosa. So casa and cosa. Okay. So let's talk about all of our other S or SS's. So if we see any other S's in Italian, it's going to be a true S sound, like snake in English. So it's a true S sound like snake. So for example, the word casa. So here we do have vowels around our S's, but there are two of them. So the singular S rule does not apply here. So this word is pronounced casa, casa. And our last word on the previous page was pronounced casa. So those are two different words. So if you change your pronunciation, you're saying two different things. So casa means house, casa means register, like where you go to pay at a store. So you're saying house or register depending on your S sound, which is why it's so important to pronounce it correctly. Now, our next example is spada. So we have an S here. It's not sandwiched by vowels, so it's a true S. And spada means sword. And last, we have sandalo. Sandalo. So we have a vowel following our S, but there's no vowel before it, even though it is a singular S. So that rule for the Z zipper sound does not apply here. It's a true S sound. And sandalo means sandal. I wrote it two different ways here once again to make sure you get your tall A sound, whether that's the AH or AW for you. You just want to make sure you're saying sandalo and not sandalo. Our last sound we're going to learn today is our Z or ZZ. So when you see a Z, it's actually what I like to call our pizza sound. So a Z in Italian will never sound like the word zipper in English. It will never have that American Z, that English Z sound. So the reason I call it the pizza sound is because we want to achieve that TS sound that we hear in the word pizza. So if you break pizza apart phonetically, it's pizza. And the TS here is that ZZ sound, but it applies whether there's one or two Z's. An example of this in Italian is the word prezzo. It's not prezzo, it's prezzo. So we have that pizza sound. So prezzo. I like to break the T and the S up there to get our Z sound phonetically. Now this also applies when a word starts with a Z, which can be a little tricky. For example, the word zio, which means uncle. So it can be helpful to cover the T and just say zio, and then add a slight T in front of it, zio. And our last example is the word grazie. Grazie means thank you. And we have that Z here, which is going to be our TS in the phonetic spelling. Once again, you want to keep your A tall, so whatever you need to write, whether that's the AW or AH, grazie, grazie. Some people will tell me that when they're in Italy, it sounds like people are saying grazie and not grazie. But I promise you the A is in there. It's just, they say it so quickly sometimes it gets lost. But the correct way to say thank you is grazie with the AY sound at the end. So this wraps up our notes, and we are going to get into some practice now. So we're going to apply what we've learned from our pronunciation rules. So I'm going to write a word on my board, and using the rules we've learned, I'm going to, or you're going to try to pronounce it correctly. And I will give you some reminders of what to look for when I write each word on my board. So here is our first word. So pay attention to your vowels. Make sure you're pronouncing them all correctly. And then pay attention to this singular S sandwiched by two vowels and what that does to our S sound in this word. So I'll give you a second to try to sound it out, and then I'll let you know what it should sound like. Okay. So starting with the first sound. Oh, also, sorry, I forgot to mention this. Pay attention to the C and what's following it, and that will tell you how this is pronounced. So C followed by an A. I'll give you one more second. All right. So that C followed by an A gives us a hard K sound like king in English. Our A is a tall A, so I would write this first part of the word ka. Next we have an S, but it's sandwiched by vowels, which tells us it's a Z sound. That singular S sandwiched by vowels is that Z, like zipper. We have an E in our word, not at the end, so it's that eh sound. And then our T, and then our tall A. Now, if you see a letter that I didn't explain a rule for, you'll just pronounce it like you would in English. For example, the T's are just a T sound. So this is pronounced casetta, casetta. All right, let's do another one. And casetta means a small house. Casa is house, casetta is a small house or like a cottage. All right, here's our next word. So pay attention to the CH here. And then we have an E at the end of our word, so that will change the sound slightly. And if anyone wants to try to pronounce this, you can raise your hand. I'll call on you. No pressure. Gina Gillespie, I think. I'll have you unmute your microphone.
It's Anke.
Yeah, thank you. So it is Anke. So we have our tall A, and then you can put the N here. Once again, if you want to write that A-W-N, if it helps you say that tall sound, you can. Then we have our CH, which is a hard K sound. And then our E at the end of the word makes it an A sound. So anche. And anche means also. All right, let's do another one. So here, pay attention to your G followed by that E. That'll affect how you pronounce the G. And also pay attention to that S sandwiched by two vowels. And when you have it, if you'd like to help me out, you just raise your hand and I will call on you. Vicky. I'll have you unmute yourself.
Geloso.
One more time.
Geloso.
Perfect. Thank you. So it is pronounced geloso. So we have our G followed by an E, which makes it a J sound like jam. And then we have our E in the word. So it's not that AY sound like last time. It's an E. It's more of an E. So je, lo, and then we have our S sandwiched by two vowels, which makes it that Z sound like zipper. So our last sound is zo, geloso. And geloso means jealous. All right, let's do one more here. A nice and long one. So pay attention to that Z here and how it's pronounced. Once again, we have an S sandwiched by vowels. And pay attention to all of your vowels and how those sound. And your E in the middle of the word. And once again, whoever wants to help me out, just raise your hand when you have the answer. Carla, I saw your hand shoot right up.
Prezioso.
Perfect, thank you. So we have that first sound here, which is just our P-R-E, but our E is an E. So pre. Now, I'm actually going to take this off because our next sound is that Z, and I like to split our Z into that T and the S. So I'm going to stick the T on our first sound, and then put our S here for our pizza sound. So pret, and then our I is a long E sound, C. Then we have our O, and then once again, that S sandwiched by vowels makes it a Z sound. So zo is our last sound. So prezioso is the word, and it means precious. Okay. So that wraps up our practice using what we learned today. And normally I assign homework. So you guys won't have homework since this is just kind of a mock lesson. But when you do my crash course, I'll assign homework after every lesson that will look just like the practice we do together. So in this case, I'll send you a list of words to practice writing out the pronunciation of and practice saying them. And then at the start of the following lesson, I'll go over the homework answers so you can self-correct. So homework will look just like the practice we do together in class every time. Something else I always have you guys do is make note cards. I find them to be a super helpful reference tool and just learning tool, study tool. So part of your homework would be to make note cards on your pronunciation rules. And this way, if you're looking at a word and can't quite remember how to say it, you can just grab your note card and look at it. So here's an example of my C or CC note card with the rules on it. So depending on what it's followed by This is kind of how I structured it. And then I have the different sounds on the back. Then we have our G or GG. And this is the back. Once again, you guys can catch this on the recording if you're trying to make note cards for yourself. Then we have our CH, CCH, and the different sounds on the back. We have our GH, GGH, different sounds. And our singular S sandwiched by vowels. This is a great way to quiz yourself too. So if you really want to get these rules in your head, you can just look at the front and then try to remember the different sounds. And I like to write examples of each sound as well. And then last we had our pizza sound. And these are the examples. So you'll collect a lot of note cards in my course because I just find them to be a great tool. When you write things down, it helps them get in your head more. As you're doing your homework too, it's really helpful to just grab a note card to reference rather than scroll through your notes and try to find things. So yeah, note cards will be a big part of my course as well. So I'm going to make a couple of announcements. And then I'll explain a discount that I'm offering for any of you who have joined this live class to sign up for my crash course using a discount. So first of all, I wanted to let you guys know I do offer private lessons. So if a group class isn't your thing, I do one-on-one instruction too. So you're welcome to email me for more information on that. Next, I have 2 Italy tours coming up. So if anyone wants to come to Italy with me, I have a tour from May 10th to the 16th in Cinque Terre, where I live, and in June from the 10th to the 16th, I also have a Cinque Terre tour. So the May tour, I'll be guiding with my fiance, Steven, and the June tour, I'll be guiding with my mom, Holly. So it'll be a lot of fun, a great way to see the area with me, and we just have a lot of off the beaten path activities planned. We take care of your hotels, and you can just kind of show up. So more information on those is on my website, or you can email me once again. And lastly, if you're planning a trip to Italy and want help with it, I do Italy trip planning calls. So you can have a call with me. I'll help you plan your trip, tell you anything and everything you need to know about Italy, getting around, booking things, just my advice, having lived in Italy for 10 years. So that's another thing I wanted to let you guys know about. But now let's talk about my crash course. So I will be offering a 10% discount for any of you who are signed up by the end of this lesson. It has to be within 10 minutes after this class ends. So it'll be a 10% discount. So instead of my $299 price, you'll get it for $269. So real quick, I'm going to show you guys how to sign up for those of you who are just ready to jump in. And first, I accept payments via Venmo or Zelle or PayPal. So when you sign up, just put your email address in your payment when you send it, just in the descriptions, put your email address so I know how to contact you to send you all the course information. The course starts on January 13th, by the way. It'll be 5 weeks. We'll meet every Monday and Wednesday evening for 45 minutes. And yeah, it'll be structured just like this lesson today. So we're gonna get into our Q&A. Wait just a second. I just wanted to make sure you guys have this. So my Venmo is Riviera Dreamer. And once I get this, I will immediately email you and let you know your sign up, you're ready to go for my course, and what you'll need to have to start the first lesson. Zelle, you'll just need my email address, which is Caroline Cupcake at yahoo.com. So cupcake with a K. And then my PayPal, you'll also need my email address, which is different. So it's Caroline K. Semino at gmail.com. And if you pay with PayPal, you'll have to pay an extra $11 service fee. So it'll be the $269 plus 11, which brings you to $280. So everyone else is fine with the $269. So this is if you sign up for my course in the next 10 minutes after this class. Otherwise, if you sign up before January 13th, it is $2.99. Okay, so now we're gonna open it up to questions. If you guys have anything to ask me, just raise your hand, comments, concerns, compliments. I will take anything. So just raise your physical hand and I'll call on you. Richard, I'll unmute you. I can't quite hear you yet.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes. Hi.
Okay, great. I noticed when you speak the words, there's a certain inflection that is almost rhythmical, like when you were saying, geloso, you stretch the middle out. It was sort of like da da da, and then the other word, you know, uh, prezioso, ba ba da ba. It was kind of like a musical pattern. Is there some sort of rhyme or reason to why you have to do that?
There is. There are rules for those. They're my emphasis rules, and we get into those in lesson 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good
Getting
question.
way ahead of myself again.
No, I'm glad you noticed, though. That is definitely a part of the language.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Pam,
So the lessons are Monday and Wednesday at what time?
6 p.m. Sorry, yeah, 6 p.m. Central, just like tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 7 for me.
So,
Okay.
yeah, 7 for you then.
Okay, thanks.
And also, if you miss any lessons, so I know some people can't make all 10 lessons, I will send recordings out of every lesson. So as soon as the lesson's over, I send you guys the recording and your homework, and you're all set to catch up if you need to. Any other questions? Just raise your hand. Stacy.
Hi, thanks for doing this tonight. That's
Hi.
awesome.
Of
I have a
course.
question. I asked it in the thread over here, but just at the end of the 5th week, where would we see ourselves standing as far as the language?
So,
I mean, obviously we are not going to be fluent.
yeah. Well, yeah, unfortunately, no, I wish I could make you fluent in 5 weeks.
I know.
I'd be very rich. But actually, you'll just have a very good foundation of the language, pronunciation, grammar rules that you need to build sentences and speak sentences. We'll do listening exercises, so get used to hearing the language, writing what you hear. It's really just kind of giving you that foundation to then be able to move onward yourself, having a lot of those rules under your belt. And yeah, a lot of my students have moved on to study on their own or do other courses, and they just tell me like the way I explain it just makes so much more sense to them. So having my course as a foundation has been very helpful for them. I will add too that last year, so many of you wanted to continue learning with me that I did a 2nd level course. So I had a certain number of people interested in continuing, so we did another 5 weeks of even more Italian. So that's a possibility too. If I have enough people interested after the 5 weeks, we'll just continue on together.
Okay, because that was the next question. Like I feel like I am past this right here just because I've studied so much on my own and I actually can do the pronunciations and everything. I'm actually proud of myself.
Good.
Anyway,
That's good. Good for you.
so you spoke of doing like a 2nd lesson. At what point would you know that you would be able to offer that? Because I feel like I could go into that.
Yeah, it would be at the end of the 5 weeks, probably in the 5th week of my course.
Okay.
I'll take a head count of who wants to move forward and we'll go from there. I do offer private lessons for all levels too. So if that's something you want to do, we can talk about that. So.
Okay. And what's the best way to get a hold of you to find out when that 2nd course would start? Just like on TikTok or?
I would say email.
Email.
Yeah, I check my email a lot. So my email is rivieradreamer@gmail.com. And you can just check in and I'll let you know what's going on with that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions or comments? It could be about my course or anything else, any other announcements I made. Rita.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
First of all, Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
Second of all, I know you mentioned the private lessons. Does it vary on how much that would be or time-wise, or how does that go?
So my lessons come in bundles of 10 at a time. The prices vary depending on if you're wanting to do 30, 45, or 60-minute lessons with me, and you can email me privately to get those prices. It is more. It's about double what my crash course costs, just since it is that one-on-one instruction.
Okay. And with this, the what you're doing here, I think you kind of answered it already, but it was you do this beginning course, and how far would these courses be if I want to just keep continuing and getting better and better? You don't know yet until each end of the courses?
Well, it just kind of depends. I mean, if going into this course, I already have a ton of you like, I'm going for 10 weeks, let's do it. I probably need a minimum of 10 to just, know that we can do that. If I have that right away, I mean, we'll do it. It's just a matter of getting a head count. So I've got 2 now. Once we get to that 10, I'll let you know. But it really is just, I mean, the intention of this crash course is it's really just a crash of like all of the foundational grammar rules you need. If you want to learn on apps or anything else, it just helps make sense of all the little things you wouldn't really be taught. You just are kind of have to figure out on your own. So this way you just know the why of Italian. That's kind of my focus, understanding why we're saying what we're saying. Why is it this word instead of this? Why do we pronounce it that way and not this way? I'm kind of filling in all those blanks for you. So it's supposed to help you it's a launching pad for you to continue studying on your own. But if we can get a group to keep going to our second level, we'll do that. And once again, my private lessons are always an option. And if you want to do private lessons with a friend and split the cost, that's an option. So yeah, there are some different ways to keep going, because I know you don't want to stop at 5 weeks. I want you to stop. That's kind of the point of this, to get you started. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Any more questions or comments? Janice, I see you have a hand raised. I'll have you unmute yourself.
Hi. How often do you give these courses? Like, I can't do this January at this time period. When would be another time during the year that you give these courses?
So my courses are taught in the winters. So I'll do another one in February, starting towards the end of February, probably late February. I don't have my dates quite yet for that. But my courses are always January and February for the first 5 weeks, and then February, March for the second, for this level. And then my digital course is also an option if you really just need to do it on your own time. It's all pre-recorded and you can just purchase it and then go at your own pace. It's all the same material that I teach in my live course.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I see a hand raised, but I can't. Your name is CC. You have a white turtleneck on. Okay. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm Katerina. So, hi, nice to meet you. Happy New Year. So, couple questions. I know you said that you do the tour. Do you do tours? Let's say I decide to do a trip in 6 months. I'm just throwing it out there next year. Do you also would meet us to do tours when we decide to come? Like, how does that work? Or is it only those 2 times that you scheduled?
So those are my overnight tours, the 2 for May and June. That's the only, those are the only weeks I offer like group tours that are multiple days. If you'd like to do something with me in the area when you come, I do my seaside flat bike tours. It's a flat path along the sea near Cinque Terre. So that's an option to just hang out with me for a morning and get some local tips from me. But I don't do any like overnight or like full day kind of tours beyond my other tours.
So that is like a couple hour thing or an hour thing?
It's a 3-hour bike tour. It goes
3 hour. Oh, it's a bike tour. Okay,
yeah, it's a bike tour. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So it's only a bike tour, not a walking tour.
Right. So you have to ride the bike, but it's a city bike and it's all flat and a paved path. So it's very, not strenuous at all.
Okay, and how much is those tours?
So I believe they're $85 for the 3 hours.
For 3 hours? Okay. So if it's 2 of us, do you charge it's just for both of us?
Per person, yeah. And I have a whole listing on Airbnb I can send you the link to if you email me. You can read all about it, see pictures, read reviews from people who've done it with me. And that way. Yeah.
So it's 85 per person, right? Just to be clear.
Yeah.
And,
And that's if you book directly with me through Airbnb, they have extra fees. So just email
understood.
me. Yeah.
Okay. And can you just move to the left so I can see your email, all this stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Thank
My
you.
email address,
I want to take a picture of that.
Zelle,
Thank you.
PayPal for the course.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah. All right.
I unmuted.
Oh, Francine?
Yeah, I can't see the little hand that you're supposed to.
Oh, that's okay. Just
Click on.
raise your actual hand and I'll call on you. I can only see like 25 of you at a time, so that's why I might not have seen you. Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, set up something about the DVD or CD that you have the classes on?
It's a pre-recorded online course. So that is just kind of move at your own pace. It's not a group thing at all. It's just my videos kind of doing what I did here in the live lesson. But it's for anyone who can't join the live courses.
Is that okay? Because sometimes I'm a caregiver, so sometimes the evenings, I'm a morning person, so sometimes by then I'm wiped out.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I could do it on my own. That would be great, and email you with questions.
Well, with the digital course, we have a forum, so you can just put your questions in the forum, and anyone in the course can read your questions. I can read your questions, so that's the best place to ask questions and interact with me in the digital course. Okay,
so it's like a video that you're live on?
Yeah, it's just like videos of me, but it's not live in person. It's just videos I recorded.
Pre-recorded,
Yeah, and you can find that on my website.
Okay.
Under my digital Italian course.
Okay.
So I'm kind of running out of room here.
That's okay. I'm gonna I have your email, but
rivieradreamer.com.
Okay. I've got that one.
Okay.
.com. Okay. That's the website?
That's the website where you can find my course, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I'm looking for hands raised. I don't see a name, but I see your hand. You have bangs and a bob.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Jody.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you. I wanted to ask you, the Riviera Dreamer website, is that detailing your trips and everything that you have out? That's everything inclusive?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I thoroughly enjoy watching you on your posts, so thank you. This was so nice.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Emma.
Hello.
Hi.
I was also super stoked.
You're welcome.
So question, how much are the Italy tours in May and June?
So the prices vary depending on the tour. I have one that's 6 nighs, and we stay in Cinque Terre in the national park. So it costs a little more because of that. And that one is from June 10th to the 16th, and that's $49.99. And then we have the May 10th to the 17th, that's 7 nights. But we stay in La Spezia, so it's out of the national park, so the housing costs, or the hotel costs less. So it's $34.99 per person, and that's in euros.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Barry Brinker.
Oh, hi, Caroline. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. We're trying to sign up, and the Venmo right now is asking you to confirm the last 4 digits to make sure it's you.
Awesome. So it is 0249.
0249. Oh, we're so excited. We're heading to Italy in May, so this is perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Becky Perry.
Hi there. My question was, we went to Italy this summer and took all 4 of our kids, and we want to go back, but the kids all want to learn it. So have you worked with children before, or would it be a better idea for us to just do the live course, or to, because we also have a busy schedule, do the pre-recorded course? And can we, like, I know you said in the forum that we could contact you if we're doing either of those courses. So what would you recommend?
How old are your kids?
Our youngest is 9 and our oldest is 17 tomorrow.
Okay. So my students, the lowest or the youngest usually I'll go is 15.
Okay.
But if this is something you think, your 9-year-old would enjoy, which I don't necessarily think they would enjoy because I think kids like more of the fun, like games and stuff. And this is more note taking and grammar. So I have a friend I can recommend to you though. If you send me an email, she teaches kids. And then if you're 17-year-old, or if you have anyone else who's 15 and up wants to join and would be into the note taking and making sentences and listening, I'm all for it. But kiddos, I don't know that this course would be that fun for them.
Okay. Yeah, I know they enjoy doing, we do the Pimsleur app with them and like driving around town and they enjoy that. But I like, my husband and I's here too. And we like the idea that you kind of break it down because a lot, like you said, on a lot of those apps, it's just listen and repeat. So it's not really breaking it down and stuff.
Good. Well, I'm glad that's helpful. And you're welcome to join the live course if the digital one feels easier with your schedule. It's the same material. So whatever works best for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Any other questions or comments?
Will you be sharing the video for tonight with us?
If you email me, I will. It's hard to know who all joined because I know a lot of people message me. Maybe not everyone could make it. But if you send me a message or email, I will get the recording to you. But I'll just need you to contact me first.
Thank you.
Yeah. Christina.
Hi there.
Hi.
I was just wanted to confirm about that I can watch these later because unfortunately on Monday nights I'm taking a different language course.
Okay.
But I would really like to get a basic foundation. I've never been able to take Italian. It was never offered in like my high school or anything like that. Right. So but I was wondering if that would be a problem knowing I basically can't make any of the Monday night classes.
That will not be a problem because I send out the recording on Monday night. So you'll get the recording right after class. As long as you can catch up on Tuesday and be ready to go for Wednesday. That would be the only thing that you'd have some time to catch up before the Wednesday lesson.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Diane.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi.
I'm definitely interested. I can't do the January start, but I can definitely do late February. So I will definitely be signing up for that. But my question is about your tours. Just curious, on the Cinque Terre tours, how large a group do you have?
So I try to keep my group smaller, between 10 and 12 people usually.
Okay,
my last tour, we had 9 people. So it just varies. We have couples, we have singles, just depends on who signs up, all ages. And they're a lot of fun. Yeah.
Great. And we can find the itinerary pretty much on your website.
Yep, the itinerary and all the details you'll need are there. And if you are interested in signing up, we can schedule a call one-on-one and you can ask me anything.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Vicky, I think I see a hand.
Hey, Caroline, I was just going to ask you, what email do we need to send to you for you to send us the copy of the recording tonight?
Well, if you just send me a message or email me at rivieradreamer@gmail.com.
Okay.
Just say, can I please have the lesson recording?
Gotcha.
Just keep it simple.
And I'll be catching up with you when we're moving to Portugal. And so we're learning Portuguese as well.
Cool.
But I told you in a couple of the exchanges that you and I have had that my husband and I are retiring and we're moving to Portugal, but we are going to spend some time in Italy. So I'll be catching up with you.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you for joining.
Have a good one.
You too. Janice, I see your hand raised.
How much are the digital courses?
It's the same price. It's $299.
Okay, and will you give a discount on that or not?
If you sign up right after this class, I can do a discount. So you can just email me and then I'll send you a discount code.
Okay. And that's emailing you to
rivieradreamer @gmail.com. Or you can message me on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you contacted me to sign up for this. So, but this is my Gmail.
Okay, rivieradreamer @gmail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any more questions before we wrap up here? Daniela.
Yeah, Daniela.
Hi.
Hi. My slight issue is I live in Australia, so the hour time difference is a wee bit different. And I was wondering, do you do anything? Because I'm looking at going back to Europe. The issue is like signing up, it's hard for the timing. I prefer a live class than obviously a Zoom class. I've done those before in the past. And do you do anything when you're in Europe?
I don't, because when I'm in Italy, that's when it's my season to do my bike tours, and I'm quite busy with my other work in Italy. I always offer my one-on-one lessons though. Yeah, I wish I could have a better option for you.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. All right. Anybody else? I'm going to wrap it up here. If not, thank you all for joining, asking such wonderful questions. And if you have any questions that come up, feel free to email me. And I look forward to seeing a lot of you in my crash course starting January 13th. Have a great, Rita, is that a hand?
I just remembered I sent you the Venmo, but you wanted us to do our email and I didn't do that.
Okay. Just email me
oh crap.
Let me know that, you signed up, and just send me an email so I know
Okay.
where to
Okay.
email
On
you.
the Gmail Riviera Dreamer one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Yeah, no worries. Is it Jayoko?
I'm good. Thanks, Dr. Caroline. I did sign up, so I'm excited. Thanks.
Oh, you did? Good. I'm so
Yeah.
glad. I'll see you the 13th.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comments, questions? Gonna wrap it up here. All right. Well, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on the 13th, hopefully. Happy New Year, and have a good night. Ciao.